things are in the works for me to have one more Olympic run for wrestling. And if that doesn't work out, then things are in the works for me to transition full-time into grappling and really take this MMA thing seriously. I was just training with Khamzat. It's hard for me not to compete when I know I'm better than a lot of these guys. Aaron Brooks won the thing, and look what I did to him at the last trials. You won't find another guy at the Olympic trials with no coach in his corner or no training partners. Carter Starachi didn't even have to be the guy that got me tight. There was nothing he did to show me any skills. You didn't put that much into it. You're not going to have that much taken away from it. It still stings. I'm a real competitor. Since I've been canceled, and look, since I called out what I said, the growth of women's wrestling. Am I claiming to be the Caitlin Clark of women's wrestling? No. But coincidentally, when she came in, it's blown up. Why is everybody watching WNBA now? Because of Caitlin fucking Clark. Can't put me on the chopping block and then proceed to benefit and implement the very thing I'm calling out. The poster boys, if you will, for their USA Wrestling, they're taken care of, so they don't want to speak on the collective for everybody else. There's been years of resentments and bitterness and true pain, because at the core of it, it's like what you love the most, you feel it doesn't love you back. That's something I'm not going to speak on, because I just don't trust this motherfucking wrestling community as far as I can throw them. We're physically not going to allow him access to the tools and the opportunities that are needed to achieve success at this level.
All right, so today I'm joined by Mr. Pat Downey. Welcome back, man. How are you?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Of course, bro. So I really wanted to have you on. We've been messaging back and forth for like about a month now, because you went and competed at the U.S. trials, which is crazy. Came out of nowhere. So you want to just start there? How you kind of doing coming off of that?
Sure, man. Yeah, it was definitely kind of last minute. I pulled the plug and decided around Thanksgiving. Yeah, I pulled the trigger on Thanksgiving. And we were like, yeah, let's go. I'm healthy. I might not be in shape yet, but how you gonna find out? I started wrestling around with the guys in Morgan State. I had some of the top high school guys in Maryland, that they were getting success wrestling with me, and they were getting better. But yeah, it's just tough to go compete in that tournament without like a room to train in with coaches and partners, and I guess all them things that senior level guys have that I didn't, that I've had in the past where I've been successful in the senior level, so I'm not a stranger to what it takes to be successful at the highest level. And with that being said, I still believe in my skills and stuff, so it's like, it's hard for me not to compete when I know I'm better than a lot of these guys. Aaron Brooks won the thing, and look what I did to him at the last trials. So he got a lot better. He's not the same kid, but I think proper training camp and you got to be healthy, you got to be in shape, got to be living right. But all them things, all them stars are aligned, and yeah, any given year I can make a world team. So I still feel really good about it too. Came off injury free. Used that as an opportunity to build off my shape, and just being back in the Olympic trials and that circuit. Maybe it was the good marketing, good publicity, or just putting my skills out there. But it opened up a lot of opportunities for me.
A lot of people been
So
calling you or what?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speak on things that haven't come to fruition yet, but things are in the works for me to have one more Olympic run for wrestling. And if that doesn't work out, then things are in the works for me to transition full time into grappling and really take this MMA thing seriously. I haven't really even trained MMA seriously in a camp. I've always just been wrestling out of them, and coming in, helping Colby get ready, or in training with Gilbert and high level guys. I was just training with Khamzat, but not like sparring, like just like grappling, wrestling, and that was pretty cool. So that was the big thing for me, using the Olympic trials as a catalyst, as a way to gauge myself, because I have no barometer. I didn't have any live competition. So that was my first test run, if you will. And, they call it the trials, and that's what I used it as. It was a trial. So it was a great opportunity to get down to scratch weight and compete and go through that process of feeling a camp And you know, I made the best out of it with what I could. So I have no regrets, and it opened up a lot of opportunities, and now I'm able to build off of that camp and use this, you know, as a stepping stone to my next goal. So I'm doing exactly that.
Yeah, and I watched your match, and you know, you did really well. It's not like it was a skill issue, really. It was the fact that you hadn't really had a full camp, and you know, you kind of gassed out right in that second
Oh
period.
yeah,
So, but just
yeah,
so people know too, you know, it's not really a skill issue. Go back and watch that match, and you're still right up there, which is crazy to see because you're not even at an RTC right now, right? Like you were just
yeah,
training with
man.
the
You're
guys at a high
yeah,
school. You were coaching.
yeah, yeah. Doing a lot of strength and conditioning on my own, and that's the thing. Like you won't find another guy at the Olympic trials with no coach in his corner or no training partners. You know what I mean? It's just so to go there and kind of outclass a kid who's in the best room in the country, arguably the world, with his accolades. There's a lot of good to take away from it, you know. And then
Was it kind of
so
just a free roll for you then? Kind of that's basically what you're saying, right? It's not like you're shattered coming out of that because it was like a free roll. Like you go in there, if you win, it's great, but if you lose, it's not like you really lose anything because it's like a
well,
gauge.
it
Or what
still
do you think?
sucks because then you lose and you have all these excuses like, man, I still believe in myself. Man, my skills are there. Man, I'm easily beating this kid. So it's a you know, there's pros and cons to when you go compete like that. You know, the year before I made the team, I went just showed up after shit hit the fan at Iowa, and I took seventh at the U.S. Open. You know, I lost both days on the first round, and then tore everybody up on the backside after I got that first match out of me. But the next year, I go there and I win the U.S. Open. You know what I mean? What's the difference in the guy that shows up and wins the U.S. Open versus the guy that shows up and takes seventh? You know, there's real things, there's real differences, but
Yeah, I know.
you
I
know.
think I know what the differences are, but
Yeah, haters and fans and people and naysayers, they'll say you're making excuses. And I'm like, this is kind of just me like calling reality how it is. One Pat Downey's doing X, Y, and Z and he's achieving goal. And another Pat Downey's doing A, B, and C and he's not achieving goal. So what does that tell you? You know, you do certain things, that's the, you know, correct decisions, I guess. That's the correct way to, you know, make the formula happen.
it
Winning.
tells you that like
Don't,
when if your life is in order, you know what I mean, then you're one of the best in the
yeah,
world. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
yeah.
and I still believe that. So, you know, I'm doing a lot of things since we've talked last to get my life in order, and this was a big stepping stone in competing again and settling down with a stable woman and just moving back home, kind of getting some of the support systems from my family, being centered with my family, and just you know, maybe it's coming of age. You know, 31 now, so. Yeah, it's a lot of things that go into that stuff, man. Like, it's not a simple formula, you know. It's not like baking a cake, but it's also we're not out here trying to do like freaking nuclear physics and differential equations. We're not you know, we're not ending world hunger here. It's pretty simple stuff. If you do this, this, you'll get that. You know what I mean? It kind of there you are. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but you know, fans and stuff will be like, "Oh, you're out of shape." Like, "Oh, you're getting old. You need to retire. Oh, you don't care anymore." And it's like, you know, if you guys think that like my lifestyle was so much different when I made the team versus now, it's not. It's not like I'm just some maniac that goes off his rocker. You know, I fucking smoked my little plant with tobacco since I was 13. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, I'm either training hard. You know, natives, we think the tobacco plant complements the marijuana plant, so we like them mixed. And you know, here's the thing. You know, I had the same success beating up on guys at the opens and making world teams and being world ranked. And you know, as some of my failures, but the difference was I going to sleep? Was I having training partners? Did I have a coach? Was I in a room training consistently every day? That's all it comes down to. And that's how you get in shape. You know what I mean? That's how you get in shape. And that's how you show up ready to compete Not even against the best. I mean, it didn't even have to be an NCAA champ. Carter Starachi didn't even have to be the guy that got me tied. You know, I hate to take credit away from him because there was nothing he did to show me any skills of his. So that's like tough for me to, just sit back and lose to people when you're asking about does it make the pain any, you didn't put that much into it, you're not going to have that much taken away from it. It still stings. At least me. I'm a real competitor, you know. Because I go out there under them circumstances doesn't mean I go out there to fucking lose. I still believe I'm going to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I hear you.
when you feel that, it stings regardless, and that's when you kind of go back to the drawing board. You got hindsight as your ally, and you're looking at using your hindsight, and you're seeing, here's the things over the course of a month. Here's the things over the course of a 4-year cycle. These are the things that that created this, and it is what it is.
Are you looking to try and recreate that then coming up? Because you said you're going to be able to compete at the next trials.
Yeah, I would love to have one more run because I know I can't wrestle forever, and
Right.
I would love to just give it one last real shot. But there's no
Where
point in doing it under these same circumstances. I
right.
gotta
Where
be
can you
in.
go? Because you
Um,
need an RTC. That's bottom line, right? Can
yeah,
we at least agree on that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. If I was training with Khamzat before, I'd probably been all right. If I'd had these opportunities with Wagner and Cyborg and all these Brazilians down here in South Florida, granted they're not regional training centers, but my skills aren't in question. My baseline shape, my cardio, my strength, and my energy systems, those are what I need to develop. I mean, I really believe just good, hard training consistently, whether it's with high level grapplers, jujitsu, other MMA fighters, you know, RTC, I believe these are all viable options. And like I said, I'm exploring them now, and something will be in the mix for this next cycle. So I guarantee it. Even before these 92 kilogram world team trials, because they have non-Olympic weights at the 4 non-Olympic weights. So I'm waiting on them to announce when and where they'll be. Probably after Olympics, sometime in September.
Oh, so around
So
this year then.
this year for sure. This year's non-Olympic world team weight, and then I want to grapple. Hopefully, maybe that ADCC or CJI, or maybe if I'm not ready for that, I'm let Wagner gauge me. He's going to be like the grappling coach for me down here, and I'm running his wrestling program down here for his camp. So there's a lot of pros that come out of that competing. Got to go to Dubai for a month and train with Hamza. The trip was cut a little short. I caught a staph infection over there and
Uh
couldn't get the couldn't get the antibiotics I needed for 5 days. Ended up hospitalized in Dubai, and that kind of sucked. You know what I mean? Ruining my trip with some funk.
I
But
saw you
that was
back.
my
I was like, you're back already? Shit, I thought that you were gonna be back a little later than that, but
Yeah, that's what
yeah.
happened. I came back about 10 days short because of that, and that really bummed me out. So just a quick bounce back, ran a quick seminar, took a weekend off at the beach, and then boom, my baby and my dog headed right down here,
Hell yeah.
and yeah, we're
Now,
back with that.
I watched an interview because I was looking up all the stuff because I got to say this too. I was gonna mention it to you beforehand, but I feel like this interview is kind of gonna be like some history in a way. Like that last interview we did, that one got like a
Right?
thousand views, and that was before I had like that much. I've like doubled up in like my following since then. So I think this
Oh, you
one's
got
gonna
some
be a lot
clout
bigger.
now?
A little bit. I'm not. I was about to say it, but I'm like, nah. I don't think I got some clout, like Ariel Hawani or some shit. But I'm working,
All
So
right.
with the last one, that was like a year ago. I've been working since that, and I think this one should do some decent numbers. So I was watching like a lot of your old interviews and stuff, and like talking about recreating some of those good times that you had back in the day.
Right.
After you won that U.S. Open, right, the senior level one, with the afterwards you did an interview and you were saying two things. Like one, you had a girlfriend at the time. I don't think it's the same one you have now, but the other thing that you had was the NJRTC, and you said those two things really kind of like locked you in. So
Yep.
with that being said, like now you have a girl, so I feel like
Yep.
that kind of gives you some stability being maybe the type of guy you are.
Oh, 100%. And it's not just having a girl, it's which one you have. You know what I mean? Because that last one, we were very tumultuous, very tumultuous. When it was good, it was good. But then when I accomplished everything that I set out to, she couldn't handle that. What happens when you make a world team? You got to go to 2 week acclimation camp in Colorado Springs. Then you got to go to training camp. Then you got to go to acclimate. You don't just go to Kazakhstan and compete in the world championships. You have 3, 4 pre-rec tournaments. You got Cuba, Pan Am Games. You got Italy. You're on the senior circuit. You're in Istanbul. You're at the Yazar Dogu. You're in Krasnoyarsk, Russia. You know what I mean? You're competing in the Mateo Pelican. You're competing in the Yarygin. So with all those competitions come training camps and acclimation camps. So that means I'm not in Baltimore. I'm in Colorado. I'm in here. I'm not in Jersey. I'm Baltimore, where we can see each other at the turnpike. So having a supportive woman that also has her own career that isn't focused on you. They have to have their career, because if it's all about you and you're going to do what makes you money and what makes your dreams come true, they're going to be a little bitter that they're left on the back burner. And I told my girl straight up back in the day, don't ever make me choose between two things, you and my family, and you and my career, my wrestling, because those are the first two things I've ever fallen in love with. You know what I mean? My mother, my father, my sisters, and my wrestling. That's all I fucking know. Don't make me choose. Don't give me ultimatum. Please don't do that. Because you won't like my choice. You know what I
Ultimatums
mean?
ain't good, man. Those aren't good. I had
No,
a girl give me an ultimatum back in the day too.
no.
Nah,
And
fuck that.
so and then that became tumultuous, and that kind of, the cancel culture came after they canceled the Olympics. They everything. So my stability, that was what, in hindsight, I lost my stability, right? My two things, I had my RTC and my girl, and that's what you know, kind of the decline, if you will, happened. Some of the losses, and that really sucked. But that's life, right? It can't all be roses. And now I'm back with, would you say recreating it? I
Yeah, I
wouldn't
was gonna
say I
say
would.
that kind
Yeah.
of well, I think I know the answer, but I don't, how do I put it? I know why you like left the RTC in, what is that,
Just
New
keep
Jersey?
switching. 1 second. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Is my audio coming through okay for you?
Yeah. I'm getting freaking blown up though. I'm trying to pause my phone. It keeps, like, notifications keep coming into this
And that's why it's like
interview.
freezing you up or something.
Yeah, it's freezing. Sorry. I'm trying to stop this and put my settings on so I can't get notified.
No worries. Go ahead and do that. But I was kind of gonna say what I almost forgot for a second. I was gonna say that oh yeah, so you obviously left the RTC because I listened to that interview you did with that one guy. It was a really good one. The one you did before the trials this year, like 3 months ago, with that guy and
With
the young kid.
sorry, it's glitching. Yeah, Pauls
Yeah, that was a good
or
interview.
with Christian or Flo guy.
No. The one, I think it was around Thanksgiving time when you were still kind of like hefty
Yeah, I was up to 230, dude.
with that one 18-year-old kid. You know that guy and
Yeah.
the 18-year-old kid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a good interview.
With
So I was just
Akil.
right.
Akil Patterson.
Yeah, that was a good one. Shout out to him.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, it's my guy from Baltimore area, Akil. We go way back. Yeah, I'm familiar with that interview. What were you about to say?
So I kind of have a follow up about that, which is like you kind of explained, right? So you don't have to do it again. After you won the U.S. Open, you went and you took some opportunities to make some money. You wrestled Gordon Ryan, right? And then you grappled him, and then also Nikki Rod. And then after that, you got injured, and this was like before the trials, and then like COVID hit and all that stuff. But you were injured. You were kind of happy that COVID hit, so you didn't have to go wrestle like you were stressing. And so all this was playing out at the NJRTC, and I guess they weren't too happy about all that. So once COVID hit and all that, they used that as an excuse to like release you. On top of that little tweet about women wrestling and stuff and not being entertaining.
Yeah,
But
like, I just think.
why didn't you go back for this one? Like, are they not down to kind of let you back there anymore or something like that? That's what my follow up was going to be.
Yeah, I tried to, and Reese, well, Dubuque's the head coach. I reached out to him personally, and he said, that they can't be associated with some of the stuff that I say. They don't have the same views as me, like some of the stuff I tweet and say on Instagram and stuff. them being, Ivy League school, they can't be associated, because I tried being able to rejoin, but then they were saying that I'd be able to come up and train still, which I was like, fuck yeah, I'll have training partners. That's all I care about. I'll commute there. I'll get some work in. You know what I mean? I'll stick around. I got a bunch of connects in Jersey. I'll get a hotel. I was like, that's all I want. I don't need to get paid or be an official RTC member. Like, I just need to wrestle you guys. Like, let me wrestle your bodies. Brucky, Marsteller's there. Nate, one of my best training partners. Nate and I had so much success together. So yeah, it was Marsteller who had a gripe with it. Because we're the same weight, and I don't know, I guess he felt some type of way about me being in the room. I guess he felt it could only benefit me. All in fair is love and war. We have a connection with Reese and stuff. We go back. Me and Reese are undefeated in America together. We're still homies. So, I mean, it's probably just, I get it. It's a competitor thing. Me, I like wrestling with everybody. Some people, like, David Taylor will always come to national team camp, never wrestled me or many other people outside of his Nittany Lion clique. Me, I'm the opposite. We have 3-4 matches scheduled. I'm probably wrestling 7 or 8, 9, 10 matches, because I think I like wrestling everyone. You know what I mean? So just totally different antithesis and viewpoints and beliefs there, like totally opposing views. But that's what I was told from the guys, and it's all good. But yeah,
And
that
that's
that
basically
definitely
the Trump cosign and shit like that. Is that what the viewpoints are?
yeah, I mean that's their guy, right? The NJRTC's got a guy who doesn't feel comfortable. He's qualified in my weight, in our weight. We're in the same weight together. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna not going to make their own athlete feel uncomfortable with my presence.
I see.
I, I respect it. I mean, they pay him. He trains there full time, and he's their 86 kilo rep. Got to do what you got to do. If he wasn't cool with it, he ain't cool with it. I mean,
Right.
maybe it's a different reason. That's what I was told, though. Maybe
Okay.
it's the political correct. Maybe they don't like me. I don't know. That's just what I was told.
Got you. And then originally though, they're saying like because Ivy League isn't aligned with Trump. Is that what it is? That's crazy.
No, 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 nothing to do with Trump.
Oh, because you had tweeted something like, or in that interview, you mentioned how like that guy mentioned how you support Trump, and then all of a sudden you're out of the RTC, and then you just said you weren't aligned with them politically. So I
No,
thought I
I
was just
think I
piecing it
think you're
together.
misunder. I think that might be miscommunication or taken out of context. He was saying how I'm a character in the sense that I support Trump, but I'll also say Black Lives Matter, and then I'll say, you know, then I'll go and say like no lives matter, and then I'll say all lives matter. Like it's just like I'm not able to be put in these political boxes, you know, because I'm not no hardcore conservative, but I definitely ain't no nowadays what you would call a liberal either. I'm furthest thing from them. So I just think the RTC's explanation, Dubuque's explanation, being that they are an Ivy League, they can't be associated with somebody who has views and puts them out there like I do. Because I've always been the same person. It wasn't until I became a world team member and a bigger following, and I developed this you know audience, that's when the stuff I believed in and started saying got taken out of context or became an issue. I've been saying the same shit since I was like 15, to be honest, about like the views and like money being made. You only get paid as much as you're worth. You're only as worth as much as you attract. Revenues generated off of views. You got to sell seats, got to sell tickets to get paid. Like I've been saying that shit. Is Jake Paul the best boxer? No, but does he probably sell the fight the best? Does he have the best marketing behind him? Does he have all the push? Yeah. People tuning in, regardless of who he's fighting? Yeah, probably.
He's doing
But
part of
like,
the game right for sure with that stuff.
that's the game.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. And
yeah. A
that's
lot of
all I
people
was
don't like
saying.
to partake in that game, that part of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, then go ahead. Don't be marketable. Don't let anyone watch you. Don't let your name get out there. Don't sell the fights. Don't let promotions want to work with you because they can't make money off you. That's
right.
your prerogative too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I think
Again, that's
fighting will
just
be good
not the
for you.
formula to success, though. That's just not the formula. That's not
Right.
how you get. That's not how you get Conor McGregor money. You
But
know.
these colleges are already getting money from sponsors, which is why as soon as you became a spokesman for them in a way and you don't align with their sponsors, that's what this whole issue is with colleges, I'm guessing, right? And the college wrestling, because they really want you guys to be monotoned. All wrestlers, they don't like when you guys celebrate for whatever reason. I don't even know if it's for funding.
Maybe that's a good point. Boosters, maybe there's RTC, big endowments.
So
Maybe
they're not
this
in the money making
Ivy League
business.
clique.
They like,
Maybe,
yeah,
maybe because that's the vibe I get. I sense that there is some bigger, almost monopoly, right? It's like, why would we not want Wrestling Wednesday? Well, because that wouldn't benefit USA Wrestling and FloWrestling. Why would the growth of the sport on ESPN not benefit them? Well, because they're in cahoots together. They have a monopoly on the sport. Flow's got streaming rights and viewership. USA Wrestling is already paying all their people six-figure salaries. They already have their own health insurance. Their families are set. They don't want all athletes getting paid, to show up to put money in the seats, people in the seats. Who are people there for? Is this like the Roman, uh, you know, are we like, are we freaking gladiators fighting for free for y'all's society's entertainment? Is that what it's come
I
to?
guess to them, but
So it's
that's not what.
well, the ruffle and the feathers is this. I'm not going to get credit for it, but I called out them and what happened after they used me as a scapegoat to cancel me. Greco-Roman got its own Greco card, first time ever. Women wrestling got their own women's card, first time ever. Look, since I've been canceled and look, since I called out what I said, the growth of women's wrestling. Am I taking credit solely for that? No. You have people that have their whole mission is to grow in women's wrestling. Am I claiming to be the Caitlin Clark of women's wrestling? Did I just come in and talk about it, drop the mic, and leave, and women's wrestling blew up? No. But there's a lot of people in the WNBA before Caitlin Clark. But coincidentally, when she came in, it's blown up. Well, why is everybody watching WNBA now? Because of Caitlin fucking Clark. Okay? Let's just talk. So what are we talking about here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't call somebody out for what y'all are doing. Me. You can't put me on the chopping block and then proceed to benefit and implement the very thing I'm calling out. You know what I mean? So it's not beneficial. My main point is it's not beneficial for people being entities, to have a person like me calling them out when I'm supposed to be another one of their, oh, eat your spoonful of chocolate, Patrick. Shut up and take your cake, Patrick. Yeah, put me under your thumb. When I'm supposed to be, just another one of them henchmen in line, you know, when I'm seeing this whole scheme and this whole system and I'm looking at it, it's fucked up. I'm looking at it point blank. This stuff's not right. We're not getting paid, guys. Like this, where's the union? Why are we not collectively speaking on this? Oh, well, they got you branded up with A6 hush hush money. They got you shutting up with the Taylors, the Dakes, the Burrows, the guys, the Snyders, the guys who are the biggest following, the best accolades, the guys who are the the poster boys, if you will, for their USA wrestling, they're taken care of, so they don't want to speak on the collective for everybody else. And with that, you got a guy like Craig Jones. Let's hopefully he gets his credit where it's due for ruffling the feathers. Makes the CJI tournament the same day as the ADCC. Same goddamn concept. ADCC could be USA Wrestling. Yeah, there's 20 different jiu-jitsu entities. The ADCCs is the coveted, most exclusive premier event every 2 or 4 years, is it? And you get, it's like their Olympics, right? The ADCCs for grapplers. And what do you get if you win? 10 grand? What do you get for selling out the stadium? Nothing. You show up, you get your leg broken for free. Like, ridiculous. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. You're fighting. It's not even wrestling where you might get slammed in your neck. You might get paralyzed at worst. You know, it's like we're literally trying to break each other's limbs and bones here. You better have the best insurance if you're showing up to this shit. You know what I mean? Or guys like me in Bellator, they only cover you when you're in the fight. I'm training for my fight. I can't even use the insurance because it didn't happen in the fight. Then you go and fight, and I got to lie and make up 20 injuries that happened in the fight because I showed up with a broken rib. I showed up with a torn knee because motherfucker couldn't get no insurance to cover it because you're only covered in the actual fight. You know what I mean? So there's all this weird stuff here. So a guy like Craig coming in saying, "Look, y'all, we got $1 million, and here's 10 bands for everybody that shows up. We're gonna stream it for free." Like, what? Who's
Yeah, this
budging
shit's on
that?
YouTube. Everyone go
What?
tune in. Yeah,
On
that'd be
YouTube
dope.
for free? And this guy out here, I'm not familiar with. I've never met the guy who owns ADCC. I believe his name's Mo. You know, he's
Yeah.
got years. They got the Abu Dhabi money, this, that, the third. All this money to put into the marketing. You know, probably Flow, Grappling, making their vig on every membership and sign up and tune in to purchase. You know, I'm sure they got streaming rights sold, and it's in the T-Mobile Arena. They probably got fire coming out. It's gonna be sick, right? It's gonna be sick. Now, what does that tell you? To make a sick event like that and put a sick fucking event like that on, that they're selling out, they're making money. What's the vig in the tickets? They probably got people up close paying 15,000, 20,000, $50,000 spots to watch a Gordon Ryan and a Nicky Rod, two juiced up, highly trained motherfucking barbaric beef heads. There's people that get off to this shit. They just want to come there and watch these motherfuckers, right? All the best in the world do their thing. You would think that all the best in the world doing their thing, entertaining all these fanatics, would get a little something more than like a free flight or a hotel. Like I would love to know what the event generates and the revenue and actual profit, net profit after overhead said and done, everybody's paid out. And then I would love to know the percentage of money given back to the athletes, because there should be some type of union where a stipulation that says at minimum half the money generated goes to the athletes with all combat events worldwide. Like I know it's not, I know it's feasible, not business minded. I know it's not how ever going to be feasible, but you know what I mean. It would just be great to see some type of athletic unionship come in and protect combat athletes that essentially, you know, like me, showing up a lot of times with no team, no coach, just a freelancer getting paid for your skills, getting flown around. You know, I was in Dubai with the Russians. Now I'm in South Miami with the Brazilians. You know what I mean? I don't do this shit with a manager or a team or anything or a coach. You know what I mean? Like, who do you know in the game making their career like me?
No, and you've been independent for a long time, and okay, so just based off that one independent thing, and then I'll dive more into the Craig Jones because I got some answers for you, and I'd love to get your reaction to some of the things. But
Oh, you
with
do? Bet.
yeah, because
Teach
I've been
me.
paying
Thank you.
attention, so I've been
Cool.
hearing some things. But
Cool.
with your the wrestling, I just gotta ask you like straight up, like, because looking at you, man, like you're like a good dude. Like I don't really like, but I'm also an open-minded guy. I think some people are closed-minded, and you might upset people like that. But looking at you, man, like I kind of get upset just like seeing like how shit's played out for you, just because of your personality. Like you're not a bad dude. And
Nah. Yeah.
do you ever feel like kind of hurt at all by like the colleges or like
Oh,
the
hell yeah.
some things
Salty.
that
You
have
could
kind of
let the shit
happened?
be bitter. Yeah, man. You could let resentment. There's been years of resentments and bitterness and true pain because what you, at the core of it, it's like what you love the most, you feel it doesn't love you back. You know, I've used this analogy being like at a party where you're not invited to, which like forced my hand into MMA when I wasn't even properly prepared to do MMA. Just had to go make some money because the shit hit the fan. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was tough on circumstances, and I'll probably also die with regrets of not being able to fit in and assimilate into the crew, into the clique, if you will. Well, why wasn't I more like the wrestler guys? Maybe I would have had more success. There's always going to be these what ifs, and but at the end of the day, I can look myself in the mirror and just be happy knowing I've been authentic and genuine to who I am, and I know I never done anything with like ill will, bad intentions in mind. Like everything I do comes from like a place of love with good intentions. Even when I was calling out the women's wrestling or whatever, the people, I guess we have different perspectives maybe in life, or maybe different upbringings or different backgrounds, products of different environments, if you will. There's got to be things that make us different, or else we'd all be the same. You know what I mean? But yeah, just because Joe Schmo sins differently than I do, doesn't make me judge him or hate him or dislike him. Like so maybe it's other people that have that hate up in their heart and they need to look at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah. closed-minded is kind of like sometimes what I think. They see something and they don't understand it, and then it like upsets
Hmm.
them, you know. And I think that's kind of what you do sometimes. But hey, at the end of the day,
Yeah,
I think right now you're on a good streak. I think you got a few more years right in you to kind of like make the most of everything. You've been through a lot, so I think a lot of people are rooting for you. You got a great fan base, bro. I'm telling you that. So you don't even need
definitely.
you don't need
Definitely. No,
Flo and all these
that's
guys.
what you just said. What you just said perfectly, man. Because that's what I'm talking about. I told the Pauls in the FloWrestling interview, like, I don't do this shit for people to like me. I do this for people like me, and I know I have a huge, sick fan base of loyal, you know, supporters, and not just my close friends and my close family, people I've never even met that
Yeah,
let
for
me
a
feel the
fact.
love all the time. You know what I mean? And you just gotta. It's easy to feed into the hate and the negative ones, and let that kind of give energy, But if you
Yeah.
learn to take a step back, don't give that energy and to those people who don't deserve it. Just feel the love. And sounds cliche, you're saying it out loud. Feel the love, brother. Hit your doobie, one love, brother. But like in general, like you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
Love
feel
gonna
you.
beat hate all the time.
100%. All right, and then will you be at an RTC before you start wrestling again, or are you doubtful? Can you give an answer?
I wish I could give an answer because if an RTC opportunity presented itself to me, it'd be hard to pass it down. You know, anyone
Is
just
it
to
something
have
you're at least looking at as an option?
um no, because I feel like it's such a small community that in a way I've almost been blackballed, and I don't want to put any word out there that if I do have an option that one of these other bigger entities cancels that option from me by me saying it publicly. So I keep my cards very close now, and that's something I'm not going to speak on because for that reason. I just don't trust this motherfucking wrestling community as far as I can throw them. And there's so many haters that would love to not see me have the opportunity to even be in an RTC because they know by canceling me, they take away the RTC. By canceling you, they take away your ability to be funded to travel to compete. By doing all these things, your sponsors, this, that, the third, they essentially ruin your opportunity to use your body, your job as the athlete you are. Because if they hinder and they take away all your opportunities, how is he ever going to be the representative and the constituent again? We're physically not going to allow him access to the tools and the opportunities that are needed to achieve success at this level. That's what I'm getting at. It's bigger than me wanting to get into an RTC. It's bigger than me wanting to send an email out to a college kid. It's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? I know because I tried. Think I haven't fucking hit up every RTC viable?
That's why I had to just ask you definitively because
Yep.
yeah. All right. We'll
Yeah.
leave it alone
So if there
because
is an opportunity out there, which there may or may not be,
mhm,
I refuse to speak on it
fair enough. You're smart.
because of yeah, I'm
You're
not an
smart.
idiot. I know
Yeah.
I know what's going on. I can see the writing on the wall. I'm not
Yeah.
no fucking idiot. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Okay. Well, let's move on from that.
Oh,
Because
oh,
there are more
yeah,
some other pressing issues, right? And I'm worried your girl's gonna come out
certainly.
of her hair appointment. So I'll start speeding it up a little bit. But
Nah, baby just texted me. She's got 90 minutes. I'm about to go get I gotta
oh,
get some
bet.
fuel for the trip. Yeah, we got
Okay.
time.
Okay, for sure. So before I talked about the Craig Jones, I just wanted to ask too, because you were going off. Obviously, you can't really maybe you could talk your shit to anyone, but maybe you didn't want to with the flow. You're pretty nice to them. But before he was even like, "Are we cool?" Because you were going
Yeah,
off before the U.S. trial. So I wanted to give you a
yeah.
chance. You already talked about it a little bit, but want to give you a chance to express your feelings towards flow and this kind of thing that you've been talking about, like deleting your footage and stuff like that. Is that true?
Yeah, can't find my matches on Flow. That's fucked up. You know what I mean? Maybe they didn't have streaming rights to them. Who knows? That's weird. Uh, what else? Them like not mentioning me in the bracket. That was weird. Like as if I wasn't showing up or wasn't qualified. Just weird things. They're just funny. You know, can't help them.
Yeah. How do you feel about them now after, I guess, talking to them? Were you able to express some differences or you just swept it under the rug?
Nah, they're different. That's all it is. They're woke liberal hipsters. I'm not. they're different. Like, it's cool. I'll still talk to him. He's still a fucking nerd. Like, he talks about world class wrestling like he knows his shit. Like like he's speaking facts or something, and he wrestled JV, buddy. Chill. It's like what? It's like it's just you're not in touch with reality. You don't know what this level of wrestling's like. You know what I mean? You never. These guys talking about it at Flow, it's just all they're doing. They're just good talkers, and we're different people.
Yeah. Even I gotta say, even when they give you the interview, it's hard for me to say that they fuck with you now, because that's what people love to do, right? They have a beef and then they have you on their show to talk to you. So I don't know if they really fuck with you after that interview still, or if they're just like doing that for the views.
Nah, they don't. It's clickbait.
Okay. I just want to put it
We're
out there.
different.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't fuck with me. I'm not gonna fuck with them. What do you think? You're gonna see me drinking beer with
Yeah.
pals? Hell no.
Hey, but I looked at all the comments and everyone, they love you, dude. Like straight up. Go look at the comments on that video. Like I was just
Really?
seeing where things were at, and everyone's like, first time I heard him speak, and like I like him. Like a lot of those comments. So
Oh,
even
that's
if,
cool.
whatever flow, what I like to say is like people are gonna let it be what it's gonna be anyway. You don't have to put a
Yeah.
narrative out there because people see shit for what it is. But all right, so we'll move on from flow then. And let's talk about Craig Jones a little bit, that invitational, because you had a couple questions. So I heard that ADCC is paying, because Craig is paying their guys, right, offering real prize money. There's this new argument now that basically what's happening is ADCC in response is paying their athletes under the table, and then athletes are taking that money, accepting it. And there's like an argument that it's watering down the competition for other competitors because like it's under the table type shit. So like, how do you put it? Somebody might be making like 50 grand and then under the table, and then like some guy who's was offered 30 grand under the table now is asking like for 50 and shit like that. So like, do you have any thoughts on that as far as being offered under the table money in response to Craig
Well, that's
Jones?
what Flo tried doing. Flo tried doing that with our card. Well, I got paid like 15 to wrestle Taylor. That's what, and I only reference them again, even though we're off the topic, because that's what was the catalyst, and that's what initiated the cancel culture. Me getting in, and Flo ended up firing the guys that worked for them that told me a lot of the stuff, and they got fired for their own reasons too. But Joe Kania and Dan Lobdell, they all got put off of Flo, and they were with them for years. And that was who was inside running the show, telling me to market the fight as such, the match with Tate David, and telling me the numbers of what other women were getting offered but declining. That's the thing. I guess that's why they don't make it public, because they tried doing it under the table. But I think it's bullshit, because what are you going to pay me 15 and this guy 25 and I have the right to complain? No, I agreed to 15. David's got more followers. Y'all made a deal with him for 25. It's nobody else's business. If you're happy with 30, you took 30. This guy got 50. You're salty now because you found out about his money? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
It's not
Well, I
how
guess
business
because
works.
if it was
You're a clown.
disclosed, if it was like public information, there wouldn't be like any room to argue. If you get that part, that's I guess what the issue is. Like if the
I still
money,
don't think there's any room to argue with what one man's paying another man is between him and that man or that company and that business. You know what I mean? Whether it's public or not, that whole right, that feeling of a right to be mad because of somebody else's bag, that's hater, weird, weak mentality that I just can't resonate with.
okay. And with Craig Jones, and then I
Tate
guess
got 75. Chamizo got 50. David was getting 25. Downey was going to get 15. I was happy with my bag. Fuck it. Y'all eat too. Y'all are world champs. Y'all got more followers. Y'all earn your bag. What are you talking about? And then you got the women that want the same as me because they're finding out how much I'm getting, or them. Then they got no clout. Well, I have a world title. I have more accolades than you. Like using this whole, yeah, that's female shit to me. I can't resonate with it. You know what I mean? I get paid what I'm happy with and what I'm worth, and I don't worry about another man's pockets. If he's getting more than me, great, brother. If you're getting less than me, good for you too, bro. Like, what do you mean? You know what I
I guess
mean? Like,
okay,
I
okay.
just
How about
can't
this? How about this? Because I don't really
make
have
it
a
make
thought,
sense.
but I'm like, let me throw this other narrative out there maybe about it. Because I guess this might be what Craig is talking shit about. Like the fact that they weren't offering money without the Craig Jones Invitational competing with them. So it's like they're offering
that's the point. Now that
that. Yeah.
Craig has this competition happening, that has initiated and sparks this reaction from ADCC to prevent their athletes. So Craig better, that's what I was ultimately saying, man. Give Craig his flowers.
Mm-hmm. And
This
I
guy
think what
better
they're
get his
doing is,
props.
well, they're trying to lock in 80. Now that we're talking about more, I think ADCC might be trying to lock in their top competitors that'll draw numbers, which is
As
why
they
they're paying
should.
them under the table. But again, that's like to make sure that Craig doesn't sign their ass. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now you got deals. Like, watch, now, I don't know what I shouldn't speak on because but like Wagner's going ADCC, right? Don't you think this guy had to do something to ensure that Wagner didn't go CJI?
Probably because Wagner's a big name. They like to
He's
have
a
him.
fucking beast.
Yeah.
He's a guy that could win.
And he's
Like,
been
you know what I
competing
mean?
for a long time. So he's got a fan base. I'm sure they don't want to lose him along with other guys. So those are the guys that they're paying, right? Probably.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
to your point, yeah, this is new information. Like I said, you're teaching me this right now. I'm learning this from you.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. Ask
which
Wagner,
is
like,
awesome.
see what he says
Which is
about it.
awesome because now I got a new. I'm sure I'm going to find out a lot more. Tomorrow in training. So it's really cool, but got to give Craig his flowers even more because now he's forced these motherfuckers to drop the bag. You gotta love it. You gotta love athletes getting paid, man. You got to. I'm an athlete. Like I love it. I love it. Finally, like what? Like 30 years too late, brother. Like this has been happening since I was a kid.
I know these are the good times. Everybody's coming up in the good times now. Kind of crazy. But everyone else kind of
Right.
paved the way, A lot of people paved the
Whoa, we're
way.
not gladiators anymore. We don't fight for free.
Businessmen slash like, super skilled
Yeah.
martial artists and shit. Yeah, yeah. And I was gonna say, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, of course, right? We can't finish this topic without asking you about your intentions on competing, maybe at ADCC or CJI, or if you're interested and would like them to reach out to you.
Yeah, I would definitely love the opportunity to compete in either. Obviously, CJI is the one that pays you, so that's the one I want to compete in. Plus, Nicky Rod's there. I've been trying to compete against him for forever again.
Old
So,
friend.
yeah, that's my
Yeah,
guy. I love
yeah,
busting him up.
yeah. I love that match. That was a good match you had back in the day.
Yeah, I want to run it back.
Okay, hell yeah, hell yeah. So
I know,
no
nice
preference though.
slipper.
Or no, I guess your preference is CJI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
preference for sure. But yeah,
Okay.
the one paying you. Yeah,
Bet
the million.
for
Yeah, I want
sure.
the million. I prefer the $1 million tournament over the 10,000. Yes.
All right.
I ain't the best at math.
Let's get you versus Nicky Rod. I love that one.
Yeah, that would be so hard
Okay,
for
and
a
then
mill.
you got any message to Nicky Rod? I see your energy about him right now. So you got anything to say or not?
Nah, just
Okay.
I know he wants to run it back. I know he does. So trust
That
me, I know he wants to run it back.
you don't think that last one sat well with him? He's been waiting to run that one back.
Nah, he wants to get that back.
Yeah. All right. All
Yeah,
right.
I know. I know. I'm an athlete. I know
Let's
how it
get it
goes.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And while we're on the topic of like competing and stuff, how about MMA? Right now, just to kind of remind
Yeah,
people a little bit.
I got some to get back too, huh? Yeah, I
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
get
yeah.
that back.
You got to get your
Yeah,
get back in there.
I'll get my lick back
Yeah.
for sure by the end of this year.
By the end of this year. Okay.
Yeah, it's in store. Like again, I'm not going to speak on things before they hatch, come to
Before they
fruition.
hatch. All right. I won't make you. I just would like to kind of get your thoughts then about how certain things played out because when we last spoke, you got cut from Bellator because I guess you didn't show up super prepared. Still kind of a weird one to me because fighters do that all the time to make money and then they turn around and now that they got the bag, they can train. Just putting that
They
out there.
invested into their camp. Yeah.
Yeah, like sometimes they just take the L because they like because of their situation in life. And then like after that, they're like, I got money now. I can train. Here, watch me what I can do now. But anyway,
Yeah.
Bellator cut you over that. Then they signed with PFL. So like, did you go from like bitter to like a different feeling or anything like that? Or like maybe you weren't even bitter from the first place, but getting released, then PFL happening. How did you view that with how you tied into everything?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was totally indifferent. I had no feeling about it. Like when that happened, I didn't think I tied into it at all.
As far as
Honestly,
like
microcosm of macrocosm as a whole nother entity purchasing and another entity business shit
were
over
you
my
happy
head.
that maybe you weren't locked in, that you could have other options when you want to come back to fighting and stuff like that? Like, because otherwise, I don't know if you see this stuff, but I'll inform you. There's issues like with some of the bigger names at Bellator who get paid decent money. There's been some issues with PFL not wanting to sign them to fights because they don't really have the money to pay to honor their contract and stuff. So you got a lot of guys sitting out for a long period of time right now, just waiting, like sitting on their hands basically. So that could have possibly been you if you went over there and then they just don't have a fight. They also don't have a middleweight division, the PFL. You're a
Excuse
middleweight.
me. So I'm misunderstanding. So you're saying before this, what would you call a merger
Mm-hmm. Merger.
of PFL and Bellator? You're saying if I were, because Bellator dropped me.
Right.
I was out of contract with them. So the two fights I had left, you know, I wasn't expected to fight out my contract. So I become a free agent.
Correct.
So how do I go from free agency to a waiting list with PFL? Where do I ever come into play with PFL?
Okay. I'm just asking basically, do you think you dodged a bullet? Like you're not on a waiting list right now, but maybe you could have been if they kept you.
If Bellator kept me?
Yeah, if Bellator kept you.
If they kept me.
Like now you have options, is what I'm trying to say. Like PFL doesn't have a
Yeah.
middleweight
Well, I
division and
guess
shit
I
like that.
always have. I guess I just don't look too lucrative coming off of that performance. But yeah, there's tons of options, right? I guess. I mean,
I mean, you got
I
the
haven't
Bo
even
Nickel. You could go
considered
to the
them.
UFC. Like if you were still signed with
Yeah.
Bellator, you couldn't go to UFC. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah.
they sold. Do you think you dodged
Yeah.
a bullet?
Yeah, if they were selling, yeah. So what happened when they sold and they had all these guys on the contract? Is that what you're talking about being
That
there still?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
When
say.
they
They're having a hard
sold,
time honoring some of the top fighters that came over from Bellator
they are currently the belt. Oh, that's an issue right now.
currently. Like for example, right? Not that you're
I saw
involved, but
that Gagar Musasi got let go, and that's a legend.
he got let go because uh Bellator signed him to a new contract, like with more money that before the merger, and then PFL doesn't want to honor that, and they're saying like, no, we didn't agree to that. So like that,
Wow.
yeah, and they released him because he made a stink
Oh,
about it,
I get what you're saying now. I
and you
dodged a
could have been
bullet.
in there.
I potentially could have dodged a bullet. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who knows what type of clusterfuck these mugs are in, right?
yeah, and they don't have a middleweight division. You know what I'm saying?
They don't?
PFL, they don't have a middleweight division.
Oh, well, when I fight, I'd like to do my camp over there in Dubai with Hamzat's team and go welterweight.
Okay.
That would be my MMA.
170?
Yeah,
Let's go.
get in real shape.
You'd be
Y'all
huge
gonna
for
see the
170.
Patrickov, Downey Labudov come out on these motherfuckers over there. I want to go over there and fight. Yeah,
Okay. Hell yeah. Now,
get
so
that
you'd be down to
worldwide.
fight in Abu Dhabi with at like some of those like what do you call Middle East promotions? Get some
100%,
Russians. I would love that.
100%,
Yeah,
fucking bangers.
I would
They
love
got
that.
guys over there, man. His whole team, Hamzat's team, they got guy Volgaev fighting for $1 million. Badass motherfuckers. Got this guy Allen, Dudayev, been in the UFC since he's like 35, 36, older than me, but good man strength, great skills. All his training partners are off the hook.
Hell yeah.
You
World
know,
class.
I come into a shark, we call them chainsaws, where one guy's in, you're rotating. We're rotating on Hamzat to get him tired. You know what I mean? Me staying in with these guys, I'd have gotten fucking mauled I'd have gotten so tired. They're just able to break you. Where I'm usually just in here, and it was the best training of my life. That's where I need to go to if I go to fight, or and stay with like Wagner and these grapplers. The Brazilians and the Russians, man, those are my people. The Americans don't fuck with me. The wrestling dream might be dead. The writing's on
Yeah.
the wall.
Hey, so that brings up a question, and then we'll wrap it up in about like let's just do
Keep
like 10
trying
more.
to keep trying to fit a triangle through a circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. And that's what this next question is, real quick, is like, how do I put this? You're an American wrestler, right? Obviously, it's cool if you could put on for American wrestling and
Right.
show some of these Russians that good old American wrestling. But in a way, you're kind of like, these are my new people, right? Like I gotta become family with them. So like, are you gonna be like the American killer all of a sudden? Like, what are we going for here? What do you think?
No, no, brother. They love me because I'm authentically me. They love my spirit and my energy, and you know, maybe my habits are changing over there. You know, I don't want to go to prison for the rest of my life over a plant. So like, just certain lifestyle changes happen naturally, being in a place like Dubai. You know what I mean? So with that comes good health and stuff. But nah, I'm still always same old funky bunky, same me. You know what I mean? Still PD3 at the end of the day.
Hell yeah. Well, okay. This
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is like, we need right, as American fans, we need more representations of MMA from D1 wrestling. We got Bo Nickel. We used to have like DC and these guys, Mike Chandler,
Right.
and that's what I was
Right.
saying. I want you to go in there and
That would be
and
sick.
start repping for the US again, and
Right.
putting the business
Lance
on some of
Palmer
these
fights over there.
guys.
I think Lance Palmer fights over there. He's a Ohio State guy, good
Yeah, he
wrestler.
is. I know Lance Palmer.
Yeah, it's my guy. But man, there's definitely a big niche there to do exactly what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
I need to see it. I mean, Bo's doing it right now, but he hasn't fought any Russians yet. I can't wait for him to fight a Russian.
Yeah, I'd like to see him fight. Who's that Russian at top team there? That
For
middleweight.
185. Not Shavkat, right?
No, which guy starts with a K?
Okay.
He's up there. Only lost was the Hamzat.
His only loss was to Khamzat.
Yeah, on their
Um.
come up, in this Russian leagues we're talking about right now.
Oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ikram Aliskerov.
Yeah, I said K. Ikram. Yeah, the
Yeah,
K.
yeah.
Ikram's good.
You'd like to see
Yeah,
Bo against him?
yeah, great.
Oh,
I'd
that's a
like
good
to see
one.
that. Just stylistically, as a grappler, fighter, MMA guy, I appreciate. I'd like to see that. Um, I think that'd be a high level, some high level encounters with the grappling, real wrestling, and yeah, both be wise to not downplay these Chechen foreign mountain wrestling. He'd be wise to respect it a little more than he appears to. Maybe he does. Maybe it's a front. You know what I mean? Maybe he's like maybe he's not as dumb as he looks. He's a smart guy. I think he'll come properly prepared. But
You think you look
I
stupid?
no, he's not a dumb ginger. Uh, he's a smart guy.
Go on, go on. I
I
just had
know.
to point it out.
I just think that you know, these guys are better than he thinks, and they're different. Grow up doing something your whole life, using your legs like arms and your feet like hands. You're bound to have some different tricks. I know I picked up a bunch of shit over there.
Okay. All right. And this might be the last one. I'll look at my list of questions before we end it just to make sure. But I got to ask you, okay, big topic, right? And I got the best guy here for it. Now, I'm always on record. Maybe I'm biased. I'm just talking my shit. They're neck and neck. But I would love to get your solidified opinion. American wrestling, Russian wrestling. Let's start off with who's the best in the world
Right now,
right now. Yeah.
American.
American. Okay. Because a lot of people, they be doubting. They say like, oh, this guy's got Russian wrestling and shit like that. Like, how's he going to defend the takedowns with a lot of American guys? So I kind of always say like, well, America's got the best wrestling. So why you think that's going to happen?
I guess we'll watch at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Russia has the most representatives, but now you see America doing it more and more, defecting,
Mhm.
representing other countries at the World Championships.
That's true. You got what's the young guy's name? Vito. He didn't wrestle for US, did he?
Arujo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's other guys though
World
that
champ.
haven't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stefan Mitic,
There you go. There you go. Who does he represent?
Serbian.
Yeah, Serbia. Okay, but let me ask you, why is America the best then over Russia right now?
Um, well, we we probably are the best right now because of one thing, and that is pressure conditioning. Conditioning. Our hand fight, the ability to bring pressure. But if you don't, you know, if you don't get on them Russians, start pushing, pulling, get on their head, compromise their position, you know, we need Dake to beat Sidakov too, man. Jeez, no Sidakov, nobody beats this guy. Burroughs and Dake, you know, this guy at 74 might be the best. So unless Dake can prove to be better than him, because it's really tough to beat these guys in these matches that they have with them when it's 0-0, 1-1, 3-1, and then they win the last takedown 3-3 criteria win. So they are so good. These Russians are so good at playing these close matches and winning these games by a point that for an American to really win and be better, they have to get up by 4, 5, 6 points. You know what I mean? Because the depth. I think the difference in Russia and US is similar to the difference in like a Maryland and PA. Our Maryland top guy, you'll have a Kyle Snyder, a Pat Downey, and Aaron Brooks, and Helen Maroulis that is, world class. You know what I mean? That will go make a team that is winning titles, that will all American international. Then they'll beat everybody else in Maryland easily. Whereas in PA, Russia, they'll have a guy first through eighth. And that guy who took eighth can go and beat any other state champ, except maybe a Maryland state champ. So that Russian, maybe a Jersey state champ will beat him. But that Russian 1 through 8, you top 8 in Russian nationals. That's what I'm saying. Russian nationals and like tournaments like the Yarygin over there and Vladikavkaz and Chechen Dagestani, all them Caucasus tournaments, Ossetia, like all that area, like you're hitting just fucking banger after banger after banger. Ed Muggs you've never heard of are good. Everybody's good in this per capita area. It's just so these guys, ultimate point is these guys grow up doing 1-1 matches where it's perfect positioning and 2-1 criteria wins their whole lives. They grow up winning like that. Their whole lives they've had to win like that. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah.
That is the difference.
So it's
in their
kind of like
culture there.
they're masters of that really close match, how to squeak out a win, and you guys are kind of really good at just
That
like
gritty
running up
shit.
the score.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you.
Yes. That is,
Okay,
which
and
both are really good. But when you get to the top level, can we beat a guy like that at the highest level? I don't think we do. With Sidakov, Dake and Burroughs don't beat him like that. They lose to him in that match. When does Snyder beat Sajulayev? Not when it's kept close and it's back and forth. He beat him the first time when he was bigger and had better energy systems, and he was able to use fatigue as a weapon, and he got him tired and exhausted him and broke him in the last 2 minutes. Similar to me, I lose to Americans because they're able to use fatigue as a weapon very well. And if you're not properly prepared and in shape, cardio conditioning, all the XYZ's not there, you're going to lose, and that's what they can do to the Russians.
right. Okay,
Because
and
it's just not there. They just don't train as hard sometimes, maybe. But I don't know. Khamzat trains his fucking ass off, and that guy does not get tired. Dude is
yeah,
a beast.
no, that
Yeah,
dude is a beast. Oh, he got to get that belt soon. But you're basically saying, just
well,
to sum that part up, you're basically saying that like it's actually maybe a little bit more beneficial, the Russian style, because they're good at winning a close match, and it's actually pretty hard to go up big on a world class competitor, which is what US
right,
has to do usually to get the victory. But if it stays
right,
close, then Russia has their little tricks and advantages to squeak out that victory. Interesting. That's
exactly.
very, very interesting. I love that perspective, honestly. You think other guys think like that as far as USA Wrestling? Are they all on that same page, you think? Like you guys all think like
Uh,
that? Or that's just your personal?
yeah, more or less, more or less. All these guys know that it's in their benefit to make conditioning a factor by
Okay.
pushing and pulling and having a high attack rate. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just
Okay.
common. That's just how we train. That's
Right.
American.
All right, two more for you, and then I'll get you out here. Thank you for the time, Pat. I honestly really appreciate it.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for having. We're having a good conversation.
Yeah, of course. I'm stoked on it. So second to last one is when it comes to Iran, are they like third pretty much? Because they're pretty good too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
They're third.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, that one
yeah.
guy always
Lions are good.
competing with David Taylor is a beast. But my boy
Yeah,
Taylor, my boy
he just
Taylor,
beat. Yeah, right.
let's go.
I know, right?
He beats
Gotta
him up
love it.
though. I love those
Yeah,
matches.
I think Aaron's gonna beat him too, though.
You think Aaron Brooks is going to beat David or the guy David usually beats from Iran?
You're talking about Yazdani.
Yazdani. Respect.
Mhm.
Warrior.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, yeah. You think Aaron's going to beat Yazdani?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I
Aaron's too
mean,
athletic.
Aaron's a
Aaron's too
beast.
athletic.
Okay. And
As long as
so
you don't try to underhook him.
right. Now I wanted to ask you, like, this is a random one, but we touched on it last time, but you're a misunderstood guy, and so you also talked about this in that last interview, so I want to ask you about it. Because I didn't get the specifics. Back in the day, right, when you were young, you had this case with you broke a guy's jaw or some shit like that.
Mm.
Are you able to? Are you willing? Is it okay if we talk about it a little bit? If I ask you, okay. So,
Yeah.
you got like they tried to charge you with a felony, and you got off with it because you went all the way through with the court case, and
They
you got off.
did charge me with it. Yeah, they
They
did
did, but
charge
then
me.
you didn't keep it, right? You were found
Correct.
innocent.
Correct.
So first of all, the guy that you were interviewing with, he's like, they don't know what that other dude did to deserve it. Are you able to say now, like, what happened in that situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
He walked up. He was in a group of 5 guys in college. I'm in high school, like 16. At the Turkey Bowl tailgate. The time, seeing this girl, you know, and he thought it was funny to publicly embarrass this girl, humiliate her, and make her cry in front of everyone at the tailgate, and might have grabbed her ass walking by. And this all happened while my brother-in-law and I at the time, he wasn't my brother-in-law at the time. We're in high school. But it was Pat and Pat. And we were on our way. We're riding the train down the light rail. You know, you got guys from everyone meeting the city. People come from all over. And it's a tailgate, and we're all linked up at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And yeah, one thing, long story short, I was like, hey man, you think I tried being polite, I didn't try to come up and just start busting them up. I was like, what do you think? I'm dating this girl for you to publicly humiliate her and go around telling stories about her and you know, touch her and I'm like, what do you think you're doing to this girl I'm dating, basically? And yeah, I think he just basically didn't have much to say. Him and his buddies thought it was still funny. And so long story short, he's like, what are you gonna do about it? And I was like, well, I'm gonna whip your ass now. So you know, that's what happened. And he never messed with my girl again. That was nuts. Yeah, and his buddies watched. They could have got some too. So it wasn't like, I was younger, outnumbered. They were bigger, older. It was like crazy that these college guys thought it was funny to publicly humiliate my girl and have her crying. And this was years ago in high school. I guess just always been defensive. Had sister Jasmine, and then at the time, little Marissa was just born. Mother, I've always been defensive and territorial and protective.
Right.
Just my nature.
Like
And
anyone should for their family. You know what I mean? I actually, when I
yeah,
was,
family and loved ones. I mean, that's just a no-go for me. You fuck with my people, I'll gladly catch a case over y'all.
yeah.
Easily. Like no questions asked.
Funny story is same shit happened to me when I was in high school, but it was like some other kids my age. And I went up to them. I'm like, yo, what the fuck did you say to my girl? And then like nobody said anything. But if they were about to talk some shit, it might have went down right then and there. But there's like 4 guys. But hey, you can't be doing that. When a man's with his girl, that's the last thing you want to do is try someone at that point in time. Yeah, it's
It's
the last time.
disrespectful, you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
never
Now,
man with his woman. You respect that. I don't
just to
know.
kind of
It's
like,
just different.
right, right. And just to kind of break down that thing a little bit. So, real quick, did you like just sock him in the face? He dropped, and you're just like ground and pounding his ass, or like how'd you break his
No,
jaw and
no,
like stuff?
no, no. I asked him if he was ready, and I make sure he was ready. He put his hands up, and we squared up. And my brother-in-law, no, not my brother-in-law anymore, but it was funny at the time he wasn't yet. But he threw ketchup on the guy's face, like just threw smacked him out of his hands. And after that, the guy went to swing on me. Like, tension started getting heightened, and he smacked the ketchup. It was in his hands into the guy's face, and looked like he was covered in blood already, but he wasn't. It was all ketchup. You know what I mean? So he swings on me. I duck under, bing, bing, hit him with like a quick two-piece, and the the knock. I still got a nasty scar, but yeah, fight bite that right
Oh
here.
shit!
Yeah,
Hit his
tooth
tooth, or he
went
bit your
through.
hand.
He bit my hand, you could say, but
Damn.
my knuckles went through him and knocked all of his teeth out. So that's where the felony came in, the dismemberment of the body, as the state tried to call it. He was
Like a
eating through a
GBI,
straw
right?
and shit. Yeah, he fucked and broke his jaw. It was a bad shot. I hit him right square in his shit, and then all the teeth went in. And I ended up getting cellulitis or staph infection, bone infection. I had to get the bone taken out. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. Almost missed my wrestling season. Because the case, I didn't get caught till like way later over it when I got found in the papers, like athlete of the week or some crazy stuff happened that I originally ended up getting charged with it later
Oh
down the
shit!
road.
After you got in the
Yeah,
newspaper,
years later. Yeah, like a year later or something. So,
did they kick you out of high
next,
school after that? Over that shit? Or like,
well, eventually I got put on like administrative leave. Got my football season ended in the middle of my high school football season. Didn't get the rest of my high school senior year. So that's how I went to Florida my senior year because I was put out of North County in Maryland and Baltimore. So I went to Florida, tried to wrestle, went to high school down there, didn't get allowed to. Case got dropped, beat the case, what we just talked about. Boom, immediately reinstated back in school. Y'all fucked me out of my football season and my senior wrestling career. But it was all good. I went and won senior nationals and played lacrosse in high school, finished my season out, graduated from North County, went to the Olympic Training Center. Would have been nice to do some things with football though. I was doing some good things that season.
right. And that's what we were saying when you were like, I've accomplished things with my crazy life in the past. That is pretty much the story you're referring to when you were dealing with the whole case, but you went to Florida, you locked
That was
in.
one of three cases pending. That was only
Oh, that was
one
one of
of
three.
three cases. Yeah, I had a crazy high school career. Yeah, I was dealing to a lot.
Do you,
Yeah, a
if you
lot of
could just tell
different
me real quick, because we can't just leave that out
stuff.
there. But what are the other two? You got in just all
Yeah,
fights?
yeah, fights and one story was similar but different in the club. But yeah, I was just wrong places, wrong times, not living right.
And still won junior nationals back in the day once you locked in for like a few months.
Senior nationals first, then junior nationals. I was weighing 180. I won senior nationals at 189 my senior year, obviously. That's the folk style nationals for high school. And then Fargo junior nationals is the freestyle nationals. I won that at 171.
Right.
But yeah,
Okay. And then just to wrap that up,
yeah.
then, how did you win the case?
Oh, out of all three cases, I ended up taking one guilty. The only thing on my record was a second-degree assault at 17, and that was because the Olympic Training Center, I had more pending. They wouldn't let me come with the case pending because the other one got dropped in the Naval Academy guys too. They were older in college, not allowed to be at the Naval Academy out of the gates. Then they were in Bourbon Street, with a club that doesn't exist anymore down in Baltimore, and they weren't allowed to be there. And yeah, got their asses whipped out back in the alley. Bouncers threw us out back together, put us out of the club, and we all just fought. It was like, you know, it was actually pretty good long one too, but I was surprised that there was any case over that. Like, I don't even know how honest, like, fist fights end up like that. Because they were scrappy, tackling in the dumpsters. They were on the Naval Academy football team. But, yeah, that case got dismissed, too. Yeah.
And these
And
guys
then the
press
other kid,
charges. How did you even get this? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Barnaby, I don't know. I don't know. I think it was the state. But then there was another guy, Barnaby, and he ended up dying now too. He overdosed. It was a lot of just bad people. You know what I mean? Bad timing with the one case too. People
Barnaby
doing
is a guy you
weird,
fought, but he passed away.
weird. No, he was the one who pressed charges and had this whole crazy elaborate story. But yeah, and he was like, his dad was like the coach of the high school at St. Joe where I was freshman year. That was just a crazy story too that he told, and literally case dismissed. But it looks so bad because there's things of high school years at St. Joe, freshman, sophomore year, North County, Lock Raven, these three different high schools, 3 different years worth of cases all getting picked up at the same time, getting charged as a felon with 3 different cases at the same time currently pending. You're eligible for the 3 strike rule in Maryland. Like, you could be put away for life if found guilty of 3 different felonies. So your perspective changes. Like, holy shit, the state is trying to take my life away for these things. So it's like, at the end of the day, I'm all too familiar with these whatever they call them, cancel cultures or
It's been happening for
not
a long
fitting
time,
in.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's all good though.
Is my audio lagging right now?
Yeah, Lackey.
Okay. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah, but my girl's
That's better?
actually finished.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna wrap it up right now for you anyway, and just want to end it with like, are you able to guarantee if you're gonna be fighting this year or not?
No, no guarantees, but it's in my
Okay.
plan. I
It's in
hope
your
to.
plan
Yeah.
before 2024 ends.
Yeah. We make plans and God laughs, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, I'll be looking out for your next announcement, man. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure, buddy.